Evertonians. This is the transfer deadline show part number 3. We've already been live twice already today. Myself with breaking news early this morning, and at 2 o'clock we had Chad and Chris. And now I'm delighted to have Ian, Mr. Yandelf, with me to talk about Everton's transfer business and summarise some of the day's transfer dealings around Premier League clubs. Yann, first of all, how are you doing?
I'm underwhelmed with today, really. I'm good. Look, we have to remember Kieran Dewsbury Hall, Jack Grealish, as new one for the future, Tieno Barry, and we've shifted some wages off the books, yada, yada, yada. Okay, Tim Irabunam's one for the future. Some players have stepped up. We're seeing all these things. Yeah, okay. But so far we've seen, I'm not going to make a terrible joke that I made earlier, but £2 million is not really the kind of expenditure I was hoping to see on transfer deadline day. How are you?
I don't want to turn this into too much of a negative show because I am generally happy with the business that we have done. Oh, there's Wezzy. He must be back early. I'm generally quite happy with we'll bring him in a sec. Generally quite happy with the transfer business that we've done. However, I was hoping today would be a Lukaku Barry 2013 transfer window where we bring in 2 stars, or even a Marwan Fellaini 2008, and it could be, but I just think the right back situation, Yann, is inexplicable. You've left us with a 37-year-old right back who has played 90 minutes once in 2 seasons, and that was against Mansfield. And then your other option is your third choice centre back having to play at right back because there's no one there, which means the team picks itself. You want to be able to go, right, okay, I want to leave my third choice centre back available. You know, I don't want him to have to play right back because we haven't got anyone there, and Patterson isn't up to it. So I think we're going to
most
talk
frustrating
about the right back in more details, but it's
yeah,
not acceptable,
okay.
Really.
Well, no, if it bring Wes. We'll no. We'll bring Wes in when he's ready. But the right back thing, I guess, get this out of the way because I don't want to be moaning with Wes and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's so frustrating then to see Tariq Lamptey's gone to Fiorentina for £6 million, and he's of a certain standard already in the Premier League. And if we're going to throw money around, we could have bought a body in for £6 million to at least have somebody to replace Coleman, who's getting old. It's just a thought. But then,
can I say something, Yann?
Hang on. But then Bournemouth have gone and bought Alex Jimenez from AC Milan, a 20-year-old, and they've spent like 20 million on him or something like that. He will with add-ons with an option to buy. I don't think it's obligation, is it?
I'm going to say something really bold, and because I run a YouTube channel, people watch my opinions, and you don't necessarily have to agree with them. Seamus Coleman is finished. Okay, Nathan Patterson hasn't been very good for us at any stage. He's never ever been good enough.
I'm agreeing with you. I don't want to be.
How do we end up in this situation, Yann? It's not acceptable, is it really?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It became an issue when we didn't have the right timely replacement for Baines. Luca Dini stepped in, and then that was a cock up there because we didn't have, it was just like, we were going to rely on Dini as we did with Baines, and then we were just left with a quandary, like at left back ever since. We've had like a sort of an issue since Dini's departure, and without that kind of graduated replacement for Coleman, with proven, we had issues with Patterson, whatever it may be. The proof's in the pudding. He's not stepped up, or there's an injury or something. Either way, we're still wanting. On a match day, we still don't have an established right back, and it's frustrating.
The question is, and I will bring in Wes in a moment, will we score enough goals to not worry? And is Jake O'Brien defensively strong enough to just be, okay, it's okay, we're going to still score enough goals. There's attacking limitations are not as highlighted by the fact we've got 4 good attacking players in there. Can we make do and still compete for Europe? Then that's the answer. Let's bring in Wes. Hello, Dave.
Hello, guys.
Can you give us a positive spin on this?
No. The simple fact of the matter is we are crying out for a right back. I don't know whether Jan just mentioned it. I think it caught something. I was just in the kitchen a second ago.
Yeah.
But Tariq Lamptey has gone to Fiorentina for £6 million.
6 million. We could have bought him at least as backup or something. Yes.
He's a bit small.
How big do you need to? How big do you need to have your right back though? Coleman's not exactly.
I think we just needed someone with pace who can hold the right flank for us to allow whoever's playing on the right, whether that's Silliman and Dye, whether that's Tyler Dibbling, whether that's anyone,
agreed
just
with
to tuck
me.
in. And McNeil. Just
But
to tuck in.
Where's Tariq Lamptey? Like I'm saying, look, if we can't afford to go out, or if we can't compete with the signings of the, for instance, that Alex Jimenez who's coming to Bournemouth from AC Milan, then 6 million. Could we not afford 7 million? 6.5? Like,
The thing is, though, Jan, you've also got to think, like, I'm open that at some stage Everton was in for Tariq Lamptey, and he's either turned us down and he's got his sights set on going to Italy, or we haven't been in for all. I'm hoping it's the first, because when a player, I mean, he's not a great defender. Don't get me wrong, he's not the best defender, but going forward, he's electric.
How are teams like Nottingham Forest and Chelsea and Liverpool able to just spend? Everton have not spent in years.
Europe.
And yet we've only spent 120 million. We've actually been outspent by Sunderland. We've been outspent by Sunderland.
Yeah, but the Europa League, being in the Europa League for Forest, it's not going to bring in the amount of money that they spend.
He's correct. This is correct. Hang on, let me see if this. Can you hear the baby, or is it far enough away?
You can see it bouncing up and down.
If it's really distracting, I'll go and get a dummy now.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Ryan, okay. Why is my head the size of the moon? Can I sort something out with the camera here?
Yeah. You've got to do it at your end.
I'll do that.
There we go.
Well, now we look like Little Britain midgets. Yeah, can I sing the theme tune? We'll do that. Are you happier with that?
That's better, yeah. So that's fine like that.
I've got to say, you look at these other teams, they've spent money. I need to give devil's advocate. I could come on here and go, I'm really happy with Jack Grealish, happy with Dewsbury Hall, really happy with the signings that we've made. I'm on the fence about Adam Asnu. But generally I'm positive. I could come on here and give you a really positive spin, but we know all this. We've talked about this. I think if you end up with Jake O'Brien as your right back, you have to bring in a central defender, okay? Because he's your right back. He's not your central defender. We've got this problem now, and if he's not your right back, sign your right back. I don't think there's an excuse. We probably didn't offer Kenny Tete enough money, didn't offer enough money for Kyle Walker, probably didn't offer enough money for the other bloke, Kyle Walker-Peters. I don't know how you can end up in this situation where you've been left with poor options at right back. And also, I know I'm diverging here. What concerned me against Wolves is, if I was the manager, I would want an athletic defensive midfielder off the bench to come on, break up the Wolves' attacks, stop them getting into the areas where they can cross the ball. And we didn't have that option. We had Timur Abunam, who's great when you're on the front foot, but I don't think he's a player that's particularly good when we haven't got the ball.
Has Roman Dixon gone out on loan?
No.
I think he has, hasn't he? Has he not?
Why am I a picture of you? I'm just going to go and get Pops' dummy. I'll be 2 minutes. Keep talking. Maybe talk about that point, the lack of a defensive midfield cover to come on.
Okay. I just, if we're going to take a few minutes aside and it's still 15 minutes to the window and we're going to hold out hope that Everton are going to be signing something, can we just take a moment to talk about United, what's going on there? Because Garnacho's gone to Chelsea. Lindelof was a free agent, not been re-signed. Jadon Sancho's gone to Villa, who's also got Lindelof. And Rasmus Højlund's gone to Napoli. What is going on at United?
She had to dummy in the whole time. She was just chatting. Well, the thing with Rasmus Højlund is he's rubbish, and he somehow managed to get a move to Napoli, the Italian champions. I mean, you couldn't write it. I think people pay for the names, don't they? You pay for the big names, and if you're a big name player, you either get a move to Saudi or you have no problem moving. But for me, he's a complete and utter flop. I can't believe he's gone to Napoli, but it's because Lukaku got injured.
I can 100% believe that he's gone back to Italy because he was turning it up in Italy, and I think that's his level of football. The Premier League, I think he's a big stepping lad. Yeah, I think that the Premier League's too fast for him. I think it's too physical for him, but he's a big lad. You know what I mean? So I'm personally glad that he's gone to Napoli because I wouldn't have liked him to turn around and come to Everton and not score any goals.
No, well, no. But I mean, were you talking about Tyler Onyango going before or to Stockport on loan, so that gives us even less coverage in midfield or something? Is that what you were talking about? Or
we don't need cover in midfield. If we get this, sausage roll, then we'll turn around and have plenty of midfielders. People are saying he's going to be covered for Garner Gay, but he's an attacking midfielder.
He is. He's a physical player. He likes to carry the ball, dribble with the ball. His distribution's okay, but he's certainly not a defensive midfielder. And I think that's what we're going to lack. If we can accept or we can get excited about some of the forward players, Jack Grealish, Tyler Dibbling, Colas Alcaraz, Iliman Ndiaye, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, they're going to create chances. We're going to score goals. If we're winning these games, you need to be able to shore that defense up. And I'm not confident we've got the right back, the centre backs on the bench, the defensive midfielders to come on and be like, no, Wolves, you're not going to score 2 cheap crab goals off us. You're not going to score. You know, they were bloody awful and they still scored 2 goals. So that is a source of frustration for me. Apparently Messi to Everton's a done deal. Thank you for that, Ollie. I tell you what is a done deal. I tell you what is a done deal. The league is completely wrapped up. We might as well not bother. Liverpool signing Alexander Isak. Although I will say, Newcastle and Liverpool are different in the fact that Liverpool play against a lot of low blocks, a lot of teams. And is Isak going to be able to find the space, or is he going to flop?
Well, he did against us.
No, he's an unbelievable player. He really is. But Chelsea are a weird team for me as well, because Chelsea have spent a lot of money, but I don't look at any of them and think you've signed superstars. Same with Manchester City. Although they're getting Donnarumma over the line, that's the level of player you think Man City should be looking at. Donnarumma. Big names, but they've left themselves with no right back. They've got Rico Lewis, who looks like a rabbit in the headlights. They don't look like a team of superstars anymore. No, Ollie, Isak is quality.
Why have I got 10 chins?
I don't know.
Because I'm looking down this laptop. Because on my phone, I couldn't see the comments, so I've jumped on my missus' laptop, and now I'm looking down at the laptop, and I've got about 20 million chins.
So you won't be getting poached as a deadline day signing for Everton then? You won't be passing the medical?
I'm too overweight. But, I mean, realistically, apart from not having the right back, this has been a great window for Everton. Do you know what I mean? But we are crying out for that right back, because we cannot have Jake O'Brien at right back all season. We can't do it.
I'm just going to eat some chips, lads. Hope you don't mind.
I'm going in about 10 minutes because I've got football at 7:30. I'm looking at a lot of the business that's being done.
Yeah.
And there's money going around. There's been a lot of deals that have been by obligations, I'm going to have to move her in a sec.
It's all right. You have to wonder, as you say, I know there's a lot of fluidity, or there's a lot of cash fluidity with, that Liverpool had the freedom to buy Guéhi and Wissa, or with the money with Isak. But you also have to wonder if West Ham have gazumped Palace to that centre back that they're wanting as replacement for Guéhi. Do you think that deal might fall through? Is it possible?
I don't think so. I think that ultimately they either keep Guéhi and lose him probably for, on a free to Liverpool at the end of the season anyway, or they get 35 million snotters off him. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm surprised that we haven't had some offers in for Illiman and Dye. Maybe the point is that Moyes has just gone, no, he's not for bloody sale. Because
we don't need,
you'd have to pay a lot.
Need to see anyone, do we?
No, that's what I'm saying. But the point is, like, we've seen an increase in orchestrated moves lately, haven't we? I think they discussed it on Sky earlier.
Yeah. So what's kind of, all through this transfer window, I'll be honest with you, Jan, what's kind of frustrated me is you're seeing things on Sky all through this transfer window of players moving to Roma, this player moving to Roma on loan, that player being bought by Roma, and blah blah. And you've had a good influx of players there. And don't get me wrong, we've signed some players, but we haven't signed enough players. Like,
why didn't we sign that? Why didn't we sign that forward that we were rumored to be after from Roma? Because of the links with the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we've now got, unless something happens now after the deadline ends, which we know can happen. We're basically stuck with Beto and Tieno Barry for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And even in Moyes' own admission, Tieno Barry's a raw talent.
Beto did score goals last season for us. His ratio was great. He scored 8 in 21 games, didn't play a lot of minutes. And I think we're right to give him a chance.
Yeah, 100%. I've always sort of backed Beto. I just think that his older play is terrible, and he doesn't really affect the play and bringing in midfielders and stuff. But if you put the ball in behind the defenders, he's running onto it.
Yeah, he's very quick.
Very strong. In front of goal is very good.
He's very quick. He's very strong. And what baffles me is now we've got these players, the Dewsbury Halls, the Grealish, the Dibblings, the Ndai. These are players we've dreamed about. We don't need to go and do this. We don't need to go and play Route 1 into Beto and wait for 50 players to track halfway across the pitch to try and support him and play for throw-ins. We need to use him for what he's good at. Get him on the shoulder between the two centre-backs and use him as a way to pull defenders out of position. We saw with Tieno
Barry. So we're relying on goals to be created by a lot of work done by, Grealish, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, Illiman and Dye.
I'm going to give you a positive spin on some of Everton's football lately.
I was asking what you're saying, because from what you'd ask of him to do there, he's not going to be scoring a lot of goals in the traditional sense of what you'd expect of a forward. He's not going to be the sort of Duncan Ferguson style forward in that role. He's just going to maybe draw and harry and bother and pull defenders and then create space or movement and pull players out of position for to see the kind of goals we've been seeing, because we've been seeing goals scored by players that aren't strikers.
On his day, Beto can be a monster with his hold-up play and his all-round game. Unfortunately, he's not on it all the time. I like to see his strengths, getting in behind, heading the ball, and his close range finishing and all that sort of stuff. Now, to give you a positive swing, the last 2 seasons, and this is aimed at a lot of people who are watching, maybe who even aren't Everton fans. The last 2 years, our goals tend to come from out of nowhere, hope. It's more hope than expectation that we score. The goals always seem to come out of the blue. We never seem to go, we're going to double up on
a purpose.
Yeah, we don't play with a purpose and a real style of play that makes you think, we're really good on the wings. We get in behind you. We pull it back. We score the same sorts of goals. We haven't had a style of play we now have seen in these games against Brighton, against Mansfield, and against Wolves. We now, look at the first goal against Brighton. The striker holds the ball up. Ndai evades 2 players, gets it wide to Jack Grealish. Barry makes a run to divert the defender away, and incoming is not Nias, it's Ndai at the back post for a tap-in. These are quality goals we're scoring. The Wolves goals we scored where Grealish is flicking it over the defender's
imagine
foot.
If we had a striker that was an out-and-out, that was a Lukaku, that was a Yakubu.
But Jan, the reason I'm settled about this, I'm really upset about the right back. But overall, let's think about this. We've probably got enough in the squad to get in and around, because I'm looking at the league and I'm thinking Spurs are shite, Newcastle are going to fall off a little bit, City look nowhere near it, Arsenal for some reason have bought Dross again, and then you look at the mid-table and the bottom of the league and I'm not too worried about them, and you think this could be a big year, and I would have loved us to have had a proven striker, a proven two fullbacks, Baines and Coleman in their prime. I think that's the next level. So maybe we do this season, we're getting in around the top 8, and then next summer, if we keep this core group together, we go, where do we improve? We just want a left back, we just want a right back and a centre forward, and that's what we do. And that's how we have to grow this team to get competitive again. But
well, isn't that what we were told? What do you think, Wes? Like, do you think
I actually think right back it was extremely pressing, because Wes can come on this. It's the lowest out of all the positions in the team. It's the weakest position. It's so easy to get a decent player to just come in and instantly improve that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, I mean, we haven't had, for the past few years, right, we've had strikers that have depended on solely getting balls into the box and getting service, which we haven't been able to provide a lot of the time. And it's only since, we had Lukaku where he could create his own chances. You know what I mean? Like, he was big, strong, powerful, fast. Richie to a certain extent, but not to the point where he used to bully defenders and create space for himself, as Lukaku used to do that. But we've solely relied on crosses into the box. We've had no playmakers in midfield to thread balls through to strikers to run onto. And it's just been play the ball out wide, get crosses into the box. Now we've got two strikers probably very similar to each other. Tieno Barry might be a little bit better than his older play, but once again, they're relying on service coming into the box to score goals. Luckily enough, at this present moment in time, we're getting that, but we're also getting goals from different parts of the team. And the creativity within the team is getting the goals.
Okay. Just thinking a little bit more on what Dave has said there in terms of the style of play moving forward. A lot of it's coming down the left-hand side with Jack Grealish, with Dewsbury Hall, with players drifting over to left-back position. How pressing is the need for the right-back to be attacking in any other sense other than just to give you a bit of variation? Because surely if Jake O'Brien sits in as right-back this season, let's use him. Let's use his strengths, which is this guy is 6'6". He's an absolute beast. Can we get him in on the back post of the crosses? So when the crosses are coming over from the left and Ndiaye is maybe tucked in, there's another threat in at the back post. Like he scored against Brentford, like he scored against Fulham, I think it was. There was 2 goals. He got massive goals from open play. Can we use his strength instead of think of it as a weakness?
For the size of him, he is quick. For a 6'6" bloke, I know he's ginger and that, but he is rapid.
But the problem is, I want Jake O'Brien as my centre-back instead of Tarkowski. If Tarkowski's putting in those howlers, I need another option in there, and therefore I need a right-back. And by putting in Coleman or Patterson, the team becomes very, very vulnerable. What springs to mind for me last season against Bournemouth at home, when they scored 3 identical goals and they were all just crosses coming right from one end to the other, and there's no one who can defend the back post or stop the cross. And we still haven't resolved that problem now.
So what I'm going to disagree with you in the fact that you want to replace Taki with Jake O'Brien.
No, only an option to be able to do that based on form day.
I get that his form is a bit shaky at the moment. You got to remember he's just coming back from a serious injury and he hasn't really played a lot of football for the past few months. You know what I mean? I think he only played like 1 or 2 pre-season friendlies, and he's come in, played the last 3 games, so he could be a bit rusty. But if you take Tarkowski out of the team, you take his leadership out of the team, and I don't think Jake O'Brien is a leader. You know what I mean? We've got lots of leaders in the team now, like Grealish, KDH, you know what I mean, and Tarkowski, lots of leaders in the team. But if you take Tarkowski out of there. And don't forget, he's the captain. You're losing his leadership.
I just don't want to have my centre back, my third choice centre back, pigeonholed into the right back spot in case I need him to be
Isn't
that
that what you were
option.
suggesting to do, though?
So I would have been quite clear in this. If we couldn't have signed a right back by X point, I would have gone and brought a centre back in and accepted that Jake O'Brien is the right back for this season. I don't know what's gone on behind the scenes, but it is what it is. I feel like I'd like Jake O'Brien if Tarkowski continued on a bad run of form. I'd like to be able to use Jake as a centre back, but I can't because I'm using him as a right back, and that's the problem. The team is picking itself, and I think you need options, and you shouldn't be at such a disadvantage where you have to do things in elite sport. But yeah, I could go on for hours. There's so much to talk about.
But I think now that obviously Jake O'Brien played 3 games now at right back, I think maybe Moyes, I don't know, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? Maybe something's in the pipeline, we don't know. But literally got a few minutes for it to get done, unless it happens after the window shuts.
I'll have done a deal sheet.
The paperwork's gone through. But he's seen Jake O'Brien at right back, and he's thinking, you know, my priority at the beginning of the season was to get players in, and he's brought the players in, and he's obviously weak at right back, and he clearly doesn't trust Nathan Patterson, and apparently Nathan Patterson's fuming that his deal fell through to Sevilla.
Don't blame him.
I don't blame him because he's not wanted. You don't want to be somewhere where you're not wanted. You know what I mean?
But could Nathan not be reintegrated now as the right back for that can hold the width on those games where we just need someone who can go on the outside of a defense? Stop pinging me. Sorry about that.
How about you just mute your phone?
Fucking hell. No, because it's on this as well. Piss off. Get your own Ben and Jerry's. No, she's full of cold, to be fair.
Ben and Jerry's?
Could Nathan Patterson... I know we talk about transfers. Could Nathan Patterson not be reintegrated for those occasions where we're going to have a lot of the ball and maybe just offer... I know he's not that good. He can't defend. That's the problem.
How do you know he's not that good? We've hardly bloody seen him.
Mate, we've seen
you
enough
never know
of him.
what...
Yeah, and I'll tell you how many appearances Nathan Patterson has made, and then you can stand by that or not. He's made 59 appearances for Everton.
I think a lot of them off the bench, though, weren't he? But he is sort of positionally wise. He's very naive. Do you know what I mean? Going forward, he's not that bad, but positionally wise, defending, he's not great. Like, but that can also be coached on the training ground. But he's only a young lad, but he's still at the same time as well. He's a Scottish international, so he can't be all that bad, can he?
It doesn't take a lot to be a Scottish international, with all due respect.
I've been to Scotland. I reckon I could get a cap off them.
You deal with the hand you've been given. If I was to assess from 1 to 11 and be critical and positive, we've ended up with only 2 strikers, which causes me a bit of a worry if one of them gets injured. Okay. We've ended up with, and one of them is raw. And one of them sometimes looks like he can't trap a barn door with a banjo. Midfield, attacking midfield, I'm quite comfortable with Dibbling, Alcaraz, McNeil, Njai, Grealish, Dewsbury Hall. I've never seen Everton since probably earlier than 2010 look that much healthy in terms of players that are going to make a difference in the final third now. We've got rid of the dross. I know people criticising Dwight McNeil. He was very good with his assists and goals last season. The boys last season were saying, the boys earlier today were saying he's not good enough. But his goals and assists to games ratio last season and minutes was fine. He's going to have a part to play. Defensive midfield, I'm a little bit worried how you can live with just a 36-year-old Garner and James Garner and Martin Roll coming in potentially isn't a defensive midfielder. Charlie Alcaraz.
Martin Roll.
What was his name? What did I say it was? Sausage Roll.
Martin.
Oh, Martin Yol. Martin Yol. What? No,
No.
I think
Is-
Everton is a great
so-
club.
I've been to Taekwondo. So has this mail and roll deal been done? Have they announced it, or
He's having his medical. I don't see any reason why that won't get completed.
it's taking its time? No, it's been all day. Like you look.
Yeah,
You
but
look
I
at
tell
some
you
of the
what.
deals.
I tell you what. Let me just speculate, because clearly there's not much else to say unless we talk about who Aston Villa have made some signings and who's gone elsewhere. Right? From my perspective, I think I'm frustrated. But wouldn't it be hilarious? It wouldn't be hilarious. It would be very Everton if it just didn't go through for some reason. But it would be very, 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 very funny if it went through, and at the same time we announced the deal sheets that had also gone through at 5 to 7 for a right back, and all of a sudden we're announcing something. It's not very likely, but there's still the possibility.
Two things. I've got to go in a moment. I don't understand why it's the fascination of he's got to be available. There are kids who play FIFA and Football Manager that can tell me 10 right backs that will improve Everton right now that are at smaller clubs. Please do not insult my intelligence and tell me that we couldn't have just gone and signed a right back. We spent 100 million this window. We haven't actually spent 100 physically up front. Okay. We've put a sum down that to me looks smaller than what Sunderland have invested. I'm not being heavily critical because I like the business we have done. I have said I'm a little bit skeptical on someone like Asnil. I would have preferred maybe someone with more experience ready to come in and really fight for his place. But what the lasting thing for me is the PSR. When you have Liverpool able to break the British transfer record twice in one window, and then their third signing is also the third most expensive player in the Premier League transfer window, that tells me that this is the only competition or business in world sport where the aim of the organizers is stifling competition rather than encouraging it. If you have businesses in the real world, competition is encouraged. You often see phone shops where you might have EE and Vodafone next door to each other. Competition is encouraged and healthy. Wow. Why in this is one...
Are you becoming a socialist, Ryan?
No, far from it. But why?
Market regulation? No. Because what you're advocating
It's
for is
overly
quite
regulated.
rightly. No. What you're advocating for is regulation on the market because when they've regulated it incorrectly, what they're doing is enshrining that one's ability to spend is limited by one's current status in the fact with one's current financial power. Now, if they had a wage cap, if they had a limited thing there, if they had, for instance, anything else, it's just.
Let me just quickly finish that point because I got to go. I'm not a socialist, but the point I'm making is you should be allowed to spend. Or go the other way and cap the wages. And then you don't have dickheads like Alexander Isak pulling his nappy down, shitting the floor everywhere and crying his arse out to join them. Because there's no incentive to move because you're going to get your top 250K wherever you go. Do you know what I'm saying? You created a system which is a closed shop.
But it is what it is, mate. It is what it is.
And I think it's very, very harsh.
So why didn't we spend it on a right back, as you quite rightly say, Tariq Lamptey?
Yeah. It's two arguments. I've got to go. But there's no excuse. There's kids who play FIFA and Football Manager who can find your right back better than what we've got. We had money supposedly, and if we can't spend it, then it all comes back to PSR. Aston Villa have been bullied out by PSR, ridiculously so. Nottingham Forest seem to be allergic to PSR. I think with them, they speculate to accumulate. They're happy to take a risk. We aren't. Why don't we take a risk and go and get where we need to be?
Already have done, and we've been vilified, we've been crucified, we've been burnt. We had points upon points. Ryan, don't be church.
Yeah, and can I just very quickly answer your point there in this debate? Nottingham Forest bought about 40 players, spent a fortune. They got a 2-point deduction and still qualified for the champion for Europe. They were so close to Champions League.
Maybe they were better signings.
Exactly. So it all comes down to your recruitment. I've always said overpay for players that improve you. Because it doesn't matter in the long term if you're that confident. That's why Liverpool do it every time. They spend 150 million on one player. If he's going to be world class, does it really matter?
I heard and this was from who's that football finance expert who's at the university here. I can't think of his name. But he said I think he posted or he was on Sky Sports or something that Liverpool.
Boys, love you. I've got to drop out.
See you later, right? So
See you, Dave. Ian.
he posted on. I think he was on Sky Sports and he said Liverpool could quite comfortably spend 500 million in the transfer window and still stay within PSR because they never spent hardly a penny last season, and they had obviously the league winners money from being in the Champions League, obviously revenue that they're generating from all these Scandinavians coming in and buying all the stuff out the club shop. Do you know what I mean? So complaining about Liverpool, like you said, Ran, it's all relative. At the end of the day, you spend what you generate. Like when the rules change next season, they were supposed to change this season, but they extend them for another year. When the rules change next season, teams like Villa, who are spending 98% of their revenue on players' wages, and us, we're spending something like 96%, but we're going to have an increase in revenue because of the stadium.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But they are going to be in trouble, Villa, if these rules come into place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be. But the trouble is for clubs where they do, I envisage where clubs break through that glass ceiling and manage to. How difficult is it going to be to sustain yourselves in the Premier League when your operating costs are so small because you're not a Manchester City or a Chelsea or a United or an Everton. You've got a 15,000 max capacity stadium, and you've got the two training pitches. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? How then when you go to compete in the Premier League, how are you meant to break into that? How are you meant to? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But so then, what is the point of these rules? What is the moral justice? What is the driving force?
To keep the big spenders and the big earners and the teams that generate the money for Sky at the top of the ladder. That's what's the point of it. And the money that they generate for the Premier League. That's the whole point of it. And it's to keep the minions in their place, Jan. That's exactly what it is. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I have to. So, well, yeah, that is a point at which I arrive at anyway, and we're still waiting for any signs of any more signings, and there's nothing here. But I do agree with you. But then that becomes the conjecture. So clearly, they didn't. You'd have to argue that they didn't set up these rules with the claims. What are the claims that people that it's basically it's to stop money being pumped into clubs to buy success. Okay. But what is the consequence of that? Is it makes it then it has the added consequence of it how those rules are applied. It makes it almost impossible for any team that aren't already in that upper echelon to rise up in any organic way. It rules.
But on the flip side of that, Jan, right?
Yeah.
You say that, right? But you look at the likes of Bournemouth and Brighton, right? They've got great structure in place, great scouting team, whatever they're doing at them two clubs, right? They're bringing in players cheaply, relatively
and
cheaply.
Wolves, to an extent, have done that as well, haven't they?
Yeah, and sold on some of these players for big money, right? So if you have the right structure in place, right? Yeah, the Brightons and the Bournemouths are probably not going to break in to the top four and probably going to win the league, but they're consistently there or thereabouts, sixth, seventh, eighth, and you think if you have the right manager in place, you have the right structure in place, it can go a long way. Might not necessarily get them in the Champions League, but the days are gone now. Like the days when we got in the Champions League under Moyes, the football's moved on now to the point where you literally are buying the league because of the money that you generate.
It's well, that becomes the point that a lot of rather astute and business-minded sort of football fans and pundits say when they comment that it's not necessarily about, it becomes this circular argument. It's not about buying the league. It's that success guarantees, and success doesn't have to be the Premier League. It's the top positions that guarantee the caliber of European football. And yes, it's disappointing if you're not in the Champions League and they drop down, but okay, we go again next year because it's just a slight blip in the when you look, they're the big ocean liners and they're barging all the little boats and ships and lifeboats and rafts and things that the other clubs are out the way.
Yeah, like you say, let's be honest, right? Everton is still a big club, right? But now there's too many teams now in the Premier League skating around the rules, right? You've got Manchester United, who, so I'm led to believe, owed £1 billion in debt, right? They owe £300 million to other clubs for transfer fees, and they've got a 750 million pounds, outstanding debt, and you think, how would these?
Sorry,
how
who's
would
that?
they allow
Who's that?
Man United?
Okay,
Right. So how would they still being allowed
to
operate and still sign players, right? And the reason behind that is all their debt is being loaded off onto a subsidiary company. Chelsea is signing another 40 million players this transfer window. Do you know what I mean?
They
and you're like,
put them on 7 and 8 year contracts and signed off hotels that they owned to sister companies, and
they did that initially. They were signing on like that. Jackson, that's just gone to Bayern Munich. His contract ran till 2033. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, and now they've got rid of him after what, a season and a half or something. But initially they were signing players on 8, 9, 10-year contracts and paying them off over that time. But then FIFA or UEFA or whoever closed that loophole. So now you can sign a player on as long a contract as you want, but it's the payments, the fee's got to be made over 5 years. It's got to be ended after 5 years.
Oh, amortized. Yeah. It's just so, because the fact is that I won't go into it. We're going to get caught in repetitious loops of the absolute farce that is the self-regulating but not regulating dysfunctional.
Yeah. So this is Rob's just said exactly what I just said. They got a parent company in New York that isn't covered by PSR. So what's wrong with why can't anybody else do that?
You'd have to wonder. So United have hemorrhaged players, haven't they?
Yeah, because nobody wants to be there.
Jadon Sancho's gone to Villa on loan. Who else has gone elsewhere?
Garnacho's gone to Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah.
Onana can't catch a cold. Brought in another keeper, haven't he?
Is it Martial's gone to Barcelona or someone's gone to...
He went ages ago, Jan, come on.
Yeah.
He went like 2 seasons ago or something. Jesus Christ.
Sorry. It's just bonkers. They've got it up there, but the quality of where they're going has kind of dipped, hasn't it?
Yeah. And you look in January, I think January, the AFCON starts, doesn't it? So you're going to lose NJ and you're going to lose Ghana Gay. So I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, this is the reason why he's getting in sausage roll. Do you know what I mean? So,
but maybe in January I don't know. Maybe we'll see some activity in January.
But hopefully by then we've settled down and we're still signed, up in them upper echelons of the table. But obviously, we're going to lose Jack Grealish against City. Like people, I think Aussie Chris and Chad were saying, you know, in a hypothetical situation, what if City decided to recall Jack Grealish? I think, personally speaking, I think Jack Grealish would dig his heels in not to go back to City, because they've already. So the rumours are spreading around that they've turned around and said that the price of Grealish is going to be 50 million. I don't think it's going to end up being that much, but it's going to be on his toes whether he wants to stay at Everton. So if they're putting the ball in his court about whether he wants to stay or not, surely they're not going to turn around and say, well, we want you back because we're struggling for form or whatever. And he wasn't getting the game anyway, was he?
Did you not see that he posted? I don't know if it was true. I've seen something that he posted about playing in consecutive games or something.
Yeah, he posted on Twitter, didn't he? Nice to play 3 consecutive games or something, and then took it down straight away.
Yeah, but I mean, is it done? Do you think gone are the days when we'd see, reports coming in of, I don't know, it just seems that we're not going to get, and this just in, but it's been announced that Everton have signed so-and-so,
Yeah. Well, what Alan Myers was at Finch Farm today, or he's probably still there now, he filled himself with cups of tea all day. And he put on Twitter that somebody asked any incomings, and he put on possibly 2. Now, obviously, Alan Myers is quite well linked with the club, you know what I mean? So you just never know. You just never know. Like I said, everybody thought our business was done when we signed Fellaini, but then like 4 o'clock in the morning or something stupid, Fellaini was announced.
I don't think
it's still. I mean, it's still positive, Yann, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just we could have really done with this right back, and it still might happen. But what, like I said about Tariq Lamptey, right? People say that he's, for 6 million. I don't think that was a big gamble for him, but he can also play left back as well. Are you contemplating there, Yann?
I'm trying to see if Alan Myers has tweeted anything recently. Nothing particularly.
No. But do you know what? I pretty much had the Sky News on all day, and since I've been watching it, apart from earlier on when I went to Taekwondo, I haven't even seen them on the TV.
I don't think Hector fought. There's no sign of Hector fought.
Someone put up on I think it was on Twitter before that his injury record's not great. Merlin Rolls missed 19 games last season or something. So they flashed the original, just put it on there as an injury risk. I mean, he could end up being amazing, you know what I mean? But from what I'm reading of him, he hasn't exactly been pulling up trees in Germany, like. But we're already knocking the lad, and he hasn't even they haven't even announced him. You know what I mean?
Who knows? Everything's going ahead, apparently.
Is this on Twitter?
Don't know.
And I've just got to nip off for a second because I've got to give the dog his tablet.
Oh right, okay.
He likes his tablets, his disco biscuits.
Well, I suppose should we wrap it up there then?
If you want to wrap it up, mate. We haven't really got much else to say, have we?
No, I don't think
Yeah.
so. I mean, we could always come on and do a last minute.
Charles
evening,
is
Charles.
Charles is just say role as a physical midfielder. He can play in any position across the midfield. He needs to add goals and assists to his game.
Hopefully, KDH and Grealish will open that up for him, and Ilman and I. And
Yeah, I mean he's 23, so he's still learning his trade, isn't he? You know what I mean? Thanks for that, Charles.
a full squad assessment. Oh dear. I mean, if that's it, and the stable doors are closed, I think. What are we going to recap it, Wes? Obviously, we've got Travers who came in as replacement. He did an okay job. I think got O'Brien is going to be one for the long term to replace. Hopefully, Asnu's going to step up and get up to fitness. But right back remains a very, very serious issue for me. We don't have a long term replacement as yet, or we haven't seen Patterson filling in any intended way, despite his position as Scottish international. We've already seen a hell of a lot of positivity in the signings in midfield and the subsequent impact on our play when we've got it more incisive, more direct, more intent, with more purpose. KDH has been pivotal in that. Grealish has been great. He's been a breath of fresh air. Ilman and Dye looks like he's kind of playing with excitement with players. He's not like he's going, oh God, I'm doing it all on my own anymore, which is great. It's a shame, bit frustrating, but I can understand why Chimiti's gone, because when we haven't made a marquee signing of somebody who's going to light the league up and score at least 25 goals, 20, well, you know what I mean? It's rather frustrating to think that we've lost another body when the squad's quite thin. So, but I can understand why he's gone. But again, it just boils down to not having a right back, which
but like I said now, I mean, I keep repeating myself. I've said it now on a couple of streams. Is that you've got players in the squad now where they have confidence in each other, where they can pass them the ball and they know they're not going to lose possession. Do you know what I mean? You can put it tight into the feet where the defender's tight against them, and they know they're gonna be able to control the ball and hold off the defenders or the midfielders, whatever, and see a pass. I mean, and when you've got your whole team's got confidence in each other, that sort of plays out on the pitch, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
I mean, sorry. I was just trying to write something down. Okay. Yeah, it is rather frustrating when you know that you're just missing the last final pieces. It's like doing a jigsaw piece and you go, or jigsaw puzzle, and you look at it and go, oh, the piece, and you're shaking the box and you know what it is. You can see the missing piece. And I don't know. I mean, any thoughts out there? Because just for anyone who's joining or didn't see earlier, it was incredibly frustrating to see or predict the Hector Fort not necessarily going through, and Tariq Lamptey go for 6 million. Bournemouth to attract that right back, a 20-year-old right back, and you're wondering, okay, so we could get one for the future if Patterson's not done it, and then we can continue with O'Brien and sign someone new. But to not have anything, do we not have the capacity to spend that kind of money? As Ryan said before, it is frustrating to see. Every team's got one or two right backs, and we couldn't have signed one from anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we've had 6 weeks or something since when did the window open? July or something, or beginning of August? I don't know. But
I don't know. The kids went on holiday, and
but all that time to find a right back, which is, we know Coleman's legs are gone. He obviously doesn't trust Patterson, and you think, well, surely that was probably one of your main priorities, to have that position covered.
Do we have look? Maybe Moyes has come in and looked at the youth team and seen someone who's going to, anyone here who's aware of a youth player who's definitely going to come up and say, "Oh no, he's the long-term replacement." Ha!
So Kevin just said that looks like that deal's done then, mail and roll. But what I do want to talk about, right, is Harrison Armstrong going on loan to Preston. Now I feel for the lad, right, because he's probably not gonna get in that team at this present moment in time for a regular berth. Do you know what I mean?
But he did all right.
He did all right in flashes. Do you know what I mean? But at this present moment in time, I just don't think he's going to break into that squad every week. But then I see that, you know, I mean, he must look at what's going on at the club and go, why are they bringing in this kid who's 23 when I'm available? Do you know what I mean? I can do that job, and I get that, like, maybe Everton want to sort of get him out there and learn his trade a bit more. But he's had like 2 loans now, hasn't he? And then he hasn't really done. It was a Derby he went to and somewhere else.
I'm sorry, I just got distracted. I thought for a second that they were going to Finch Farm to something, but
Fulham. So Peter said he'd rather have Harrison Armstrong coming off the bench than Shite McNeil. No, there's a lot of Dwight McNeil knockers on here tonight. Like, I'll be honest with you. I think, you know, I think now Dwight McNeil probably isn't good enough for that team. But
I mean, I'm sorry. What about that Tomiyasu?
He was a free agent, yeah. Free agent from Arsenal, yeah. I don't know.
Are you telling me we couldn't have signed a free agent for a year? How old is it? What's wrong with him? Why? What's wrong with him then? Why did he leave Arsenal?
I just think his deal expired and he didn't renew it. Abo's saying he's been injured for ages. Are we talking? Tomiyasu?
You need. Oh no, yeah, no. Sorry, we're not the L4 home for waifs and strays anymore. He had a knee operation. He's been out, and his contract was. Oh yeah, okay, all right.
Was he? Jessica's asking, can we sign free agents still? Yeah, you can sign free agents at any point in the season, Jessica, because they're not affiliated to anybody.
Still, you know, what about the right now?
Yeah, it is sort of frustrating, but ultimately we have still had a good window. You know, like if the loan fee for Jack Grealish was 12 million, if he gets us, you know, into Europe and, you know, gets us like 6th or 7th or whatever, maybe 5th, 6th or 7th, I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but if he does, that you know, that fee and his wages probably it'll be recuperated, won't it?
It's just I don't know. I'm going to repeat myself time and time again. Where's the bloody right back? Where's the right back? Where's the right back? We need a right back, please. Can we sign a right back? Have we signed a right back?
TJ Mid said he'd take a punt on him if he was once he gets fit. See what I mean?
But why can't you? Yeah, why can't you have a pay to play? Sign it, something. It just like look. If he agreed to terminate his contract, why not have him on a pay to play until he's deemed medically fit or something?
Well, exactly. But Rob Sutton said he's happy that we didn't go for a panic buy. I think them days are long gone anyway, Rob. I think them days now, certainly under the Freakins, we're not going to go panic buying unless we're in the bottom 3 in January.
I'm not advocating to throw money at it, but it is a recognised hole and a problem and a shortcoming. So it's something that needs fixing.
Mark saying we can still get a loan in from Barcelona, but
that Hector 4, you reckon?
Well, I think that you can't get anybody in now anyway, can you? The window's shut, so unless there's, like you say, unless because obviously there's a lot of paperwork going through the system, going back to the FA before the window shuts. So you have to try and prove that you what's name, and you decide to put your paperwork through. Then because it's mad in this day and age, isn't it, that everything's still done by fax?
Surely not.
Yeah, everything's still done by fax. Yeah, got to fax all of the sheets through to the FA.
Nonsense.
TJ Med said put him on a 0-hour contract.
I mean, what wages is DCL on at Leeds now?
Well, I think personally, like it's well documented that he initially went to Leeds and asked for 150 grand a week, and they legged him, and then he legged his agents, and then the next thing he's signing for Leeds. So I think he's legged his agents if that's true, and he's gone cap in hand back to Leeds and gone, please sir, can I have some more? And he's lowered his wage demands. You know what I mean? I think he's probably on about maybe 80, maybe maximum 100 grand a week, probably what he was on at Everton. But I can't imagine Leeds paying that for a striker whose injury record's horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe, I don't know, he got too big for himself, because at the end of the day, he didn't end up reaching the heights that everyone was saying, like consistently, that he seemed to be claiming that he was capable of, or he was touted as. Was he?
No. I mean, once again with Calvert-Lewin, though, he wasn't a striker that could create his own chances. Do you know what I mean? He relied a lot heavily on service into the box, and we'll always be grateful for him for that header against Crystal Palace. Let's be honest, right? Although I don't like the guy, right, and I don't wish him ill will, but at the same time, you can't hold a club the size of Everton to ransom. I'm sorry, with your injury record. You know what I mean? So, good luck to you at Leeds. I hope you don't get a bad injury, but
you hope he doesn't do too well, because Leeds, yeah,
but I hope you don't. But yeah, I hope you don't do too great.
Oh, that was it. Anthony's gone to Real Betis. Sorry, that was the other one I forgot about when I said it was.
You've seen how much money they've lost on him? 64 million. Man United have lost 64.2 million on Anthony. That is absolutely shocking. Got to agree with TJ Mid on this one, Jan.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, that's what I mean. I've kind of said that consistently. It's messed the entire club, the field, the atmosphere, the whatever it is.
Yeah, and the turgid football that we used to play. You know what I mean? Like we only rarely played decent football, right? And you can everyone can get on me back here if they think I'm wrong, but we've only ever really played decent football under Roberto Martinez.
Yeah. I agree.
Even Ancelotti, we didn't play great football
because we had a fractured team.
Yeah, so in Martinez's first season, we were still defending, well, like we was under Moyes, And then his second season, the defending went out the window, but the attacking was brilliant. Whereas in his first season, the attacking was good, defending was good. The second season, defending went out the window.
I am confident with David Moyes in charge, though.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't want him back, remember?
I was not one of them.
I think he's transformed our team. Absolutely transformed it.
Yes. Well, I mean, any other
business?
Any other business? No.
DCL thought
Harvey Elliott
and get moved to Man United are similar and end up at Leeds. So the talk was with him was that was it Fenerbahce who was supposed to have offered him a contract and he turns down to Leeds. Yeah, right, mate. He didn't want to play in the Champions League. Wants to play at Leeds, to fucking scrapping relegation instead.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. Ah, dear. Who's this? Well, I suppose we better wrap it up then. There's nothing really else to say, unless shall we have a quick look about any transfers anywhere?
No. What have we got on here now? Ederson's gone to Fenerbahce. Donnarumma's gone to Man City. Like you have to wonder to yourself, why have PSG got rid of him?
Because they've got that other one.
Well, obviously. But which other one? They're just going to play with. He's going to play with 11 outfielders.
Not test.
Yeah, Roy. Apparently that Merlin Roll deal's done. Apparently, Kevin said before that the deal was done for Merlin Roll, but we were still, we're still hopeful for the right back. Kevin, I love you. Kevin, he's always got a little comment there. Kevin makes you giggle. Who's this? What's it? Chevalier. Who's that? Who's that, mate? Who's that? Who's Chevalier?
The Chevalier was a composer, a French son. Oh, well.
What, we signing him?
No.
Is he a right back? Oh, the keeper for PSG. But yes, do you know what, right? Like, it's well known. Sunderland fans and Everton fans get on tremendously, right? And it goes back years, not just because of Andy Lowry, but they have done really well this window, really, really well.
Yes, but on a different note, how have Forest managed to spend another 35 million on a winger or someone?
Well, they've pretty much trying to do what they did when they first came back to the Premier League, isn't it? Where they just signed a shitload of players and tried to look sort of like fit square pegs into round holes and nearly got relegated. But now that they're in Europe, like I said, the money that they're going to be generating from the Europa League and even the league positions isn't going to cover what they're spending at this present moment in time. You got to remember as well, right? And they keep saying this: when the rules change next season, right? All these players that are on the likes of Chelsea's books and Forest books, they have as many players as they want, right? But you're only going to be allowed to spend 80% of your revenue on your players' wages. And if you're in Europe, it's only going to be 70%. So teams like Chelsea have got all these players on the books that they're paying on long-term contracts. going to have to offload most of them. Same with Forest. So, you know, they're spending now, but come next season, half of them players are going to be gone.
Alarming.
But so what? That Alan Pardew made a good point today on Sky. That your wages that you pay your academy players are included in your PSR, right? And he said that shouldn't happen. You mean you should be able to develop your younger players and bring them into your team, right? And not have to sell them off to the so-called big six, because that's what's happening. All the teams that are 6 and below are all having to sell their young academy players to the teams at the top,
especially when they've developed them and yeah. So that
I know, Peter. I'm sorry, Peter. I know he's a gobshite, but I had to make that point. If somebody else had said it, I'd have been happy. But I know it was Alan Pardew, but it was still a valid point.
He obviously heard it off someone else.
He heard it off Follow Everton.
Well, on that frustrating note, I think we're just hanging on in the hopes of like a sudden news flash that Everton have signed someone, but it's not going to happen.
I'm staying up till 3 in the morning just in case.
What, waiting for another Fellaini?
Yeah. I'm going to sit here with matchsticks on my eyes because I go out to work at 20 to 4 4 o'clock in the morning, get up at 20 to 4. And I go out to work at 4. So I'm going to sit here with sticks on my eyes, just go to work and crash the car. if we don't get it right back. And nobody's getting picked up.
Wow. Yes, there we go.
Shall we end it there?
Yes. Everyone. Okay. All right, Rob. I hope so. And not all the time. I did one recently. There might be another one soon.
I watched that. It's impressive.
Oh, what, the one I did recently?
Yeah, I watched it.
Thank you, mate.
I didn't give you. I didn't big you up though, because I didn't want to look like a knobhead, like a little lick ass.
I know how to. Oh, sorry. Right. On that note, well, it's goodbye from him,
and goodbye from me.
Oh, you
bastard! It's goodbye from him.
I'm glad you did that. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And thanks to Ryan for buggering off and letting Wes and I have a lovely bit of more gentlemanly, calm banter. Thanks very much for the comments and keeping it going, as we really have sort of kept doing CPR on the subject that is Everton's proposed transfers. I really hope that Blues are going to wake up with... Sorry?
And feel free, anybody who's your first watcher, first follower, feel free to jump onto YouTube and like and subscribe, because we can only do it with you guys if you like and subscribe. And we only do this for you guys, don't we, Yann?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because Ryan certainly does not. He doesn't pay us. He doesn't compliment us. He's not nice to us. You know, it just occasionally he'll let us up out of the basement. To film. But yeah, honestly, it's. Thank you.
Have a great evening, Blues. Enjoy the international break, not the pointless international break.
Yes, well, we will see. Hopefully, we can all wake up tomorrow morning with some fantastic news of Hector 4 or something else, or maybe we've swooped in and stolen some player and scuppered a deal. But as it stands, look, at least we've got the silver lining that is Jack Grealish reanimated, rejuvenated, and breathing life into Everton again. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall
Illuminant Jai.
Yeah.
James
And
Garner.
we are yet to see Adam Asnew as well, because he's still got to sort of recover, you know, and I certainly think he's one for the future. So fingers crossed it's just a little blip and onwards and upwards. Onwards, Evertonians, right?
Up the fucking Toffees. Press the button, Yann.